Okay, let's try to get this in one take. Okay, so I have Dave. Dave has been with me for the past 9 months or so in my men's community that I have. And so what I want to highlight is the aspect of community and how powerful it is. And so I really wanted to get Dave here to get his opinion on it. So you guys know, obviously if it's coming from me, it means something different than if it comes from somebody who's actually been a part of my community. So, Dave, I just have a couple questions I want to ask you here. Is the first one is, did you see massive improvement from joining the community?
Um, I would say before even joining, we started off with a clarity call. Um, and just having like a clear idea of where I am at currently and where I want to be, really started the whole massive improvement thing. And actually joining the whole community, I really have been seeing results. It's just there's the motivation aspect of it, there's the encouragement, there's the accountability part, which really played a major factor in it. So me personally, I've seen a lot of major improvements in my life.
Awesome. And yeah, they don't know like the behind the scenes. It's like I've seen Dave again 9, 10 months ago. We had our call, and I remember where he was at versus where he is right now. And it's a huge improvement, like a massive improvement. And so I'm really proud of him on that part of how much he's grown. So yeah, you definitely said you got massive improvement. I'm glad for that. The next question I have for you is did the accountability meetings, because we have weekly accountability meetings, did the accountability meetings help you stay motivated and push you to do better?
Um, I think so. I would have to say yes. Because oftentimes, you know how we say like, "Oh yeah, I want to do this," or "I'm gonna do this," and then it's like a week or two goes by, maybe three or four, versus someone's like, "All right, we're gonna check back. We're gonna have another meeting, which is our weekly meetings, and we want to hear that you're gonna do what you did," you know. And sometimes when we don't do what we said we were gonna do, it's like, why? What was holding you back? So, it's like we can help each other out, share insights, and like maybe get to the bottom of why we didn't do what we said we were gonna do. And then the next week comes by and it's already like a 90% chance of actually doing it. Like that's how I felt about it.
Mm-hmm. Because and that's something that we kind of joke about is that since we have weekly meetings, it seems like the week goes by so fast, and so whenever you have somebody is going to be like, well, it kind of was this added pressure of like, yeah, all right, let me go ahead and do this again because you're going to have the guys kind of looking at you like, well, did you do it? Like, what happened? So yeah.
Right. Oh, we started out with a bi-weekly or every 2 weeks, and I was like,
Hmm.
"Oh crap, here we go again. Every 2 weeks." And then he just surprises when he's like, "We're gonna actually change this to every week." And I was like, "These days, it just feels like it's only been a couple days." I'm like, "Okay, we're back here again. Are you kidding me?" Like I didn't want to
Hmm.
show up to these meetings honestly, but they're very beneficial. But yeah, that's our joke.
I think that's the funny part is like because it's such like an added pressure that you're like, like God, I don't want to show up, but then you show up anyway because one, you paid for this, right? But two, it's because
Right.
you told yourself you wanted results. And so I come to realize like when the pressure's on, that's when we get to see who performs versus who's just
Mhm,
talking.
mhm.
Okay, cool. So yeah, my next question for you is was it worth the price?
Um, I would say if you break down the math, I don't know if we're going to talk about price right here, but if you break down the math and you do it from, months to weeks to days to hours of the day, it's really just like, pennies to the hours. You know what I mean? It's not
Hmm.
much for just to have access to a group of people where you can see other people's journeys, not just your own. And it's not like a competition, but you can see where you are and where people are, and you can see what people struggle with, you can see what you struggle with, and then the whole accountability part, and then the motivation, encouragement, and then just like access to like the vast amount of knowledge you have and experience and ideas and tools, and the whole journal breakdown. It's like like you give us the formulas and whatever, how to organize and all these things. It really is. I really feel like I got my how do they say, bang for your buck or something.
Hmm. Yeah, and yeah, that's another thing. You spoke on that a little earlier. It's like not only do you get to see your journey, but you're seeing the journey of others. And everybody coming into this, it was always, and it still is, like a you versus you type of thing. But when
Hmm.
you start to see other people, because they don't know that, just for context, whenever you complete something for the day or whatever you've done that was a part of your goals, you would have to put that in the chat, right? Just to motivate everybody else. And boy, did it motivate. It motivated me, right? Because you would see people like, oh, did this for the day, did this for the day, did this. And you're like, ah, especially on those days where you're like, you kind of like slipping a little bit. And you're like, ah, I don't
Yeah.
want to be left out. And so now you're like competitive, but you're not really competitive. You know what I mean? Like you just want to make sure that you're keeping
Uh,
up with it. Mm,
yeah.
awesome. Okay. And so the fourth question I have is there anything else that you want to tell the people who are thinking about joining the group, but they're still kind of on the fence and they just kind of
Um, well, I know from my personal experience, you can honestly take as much as you can hold or as much as you're willing to take. It just depends on if you're willing to show up. It's really just as simple as showing up. You don't have to jump through hoops and perform for everybody, but it's if you actually just show up and you get to watch other people's journey and then you get to chime in and other people get to chime in. Um, like I said, it's uh, I think it depends on if you're the type of person. It's not, a lot of people they're all on this whole PM stuff, like motivational videos and all that, but you can listen to all the motivational content and all this information, but if you're just gonna just not do anything and not even show up, then of course, you're not gonna get anything out of it.
mhm,
I mean, I show
100%.
up. I show up, man. I show up.
Yep. And that's the thing. It's like when I take a list of all the people who got the most results, obviously it's a correlation between they were also the most amount of people who showed up like week to week, and it may not be like Kai because Kai doesn't show up to the meetings, but he's always active in the group chat, overly active, probably the most active in the group chat,
Yeah,
right?
he's overseas or something. The
Yeah,
time
yeah. And he has
difference,
a reason for not showing up, guy. He's in a
right?
different country entirely. But yeah,
But he still
but
shows
again,
up.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And there's meetings where he does still show up, or there's guys who are in the same time zone and they're just like, and it's
Like
like,
he'll sometimes
listen.
stay up at 2 a.m. just to be in our
Exactly.
groups.
He'll wake up at like 12, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. and show up. And again,
Yeah.
it's there. That's the main thing. Like if you're still on the fence about it, you just got to ask yourself, like, are you committing to this? Because that's what this is. It's not a commitment to the action, it's the commitment to showing up for yourself. And then by you showing up, you're like, okay, you know what? I might as well since I'm here. And I think that just showing up with a group of people who want to push you, who want to see you succeed as much as you want to succeed, I think that's a good thing. So yeah, man, I appreciate that. That's what pretty much all the questions that I have for you. But I do want to talk about your results, if you don't mind sharing,
Okay.
or some of your results, like some highlights for your results. Because again,
Yeah.
when we went on our first call, I mean, if you want to kind of tell us about that, I don't want to say your stuff for you.
Yeah. Well, I was going through a rough patch at the time, and I was actually homeless, and I had so many things going on. I just like I said, we had like a clarity call, and it really just talking about my situation and everything. It really helped me, like when you have an external person kind of just who's not attached or not in it really, and kind of sort it out. Um, so like I said, I was like homeless, like before New Year's, and then we started out with like a little plan or something, and I was really just focusing on things. And by New Year's, I got myself a little studio, and then I was able to uh, you know quit my job, and and which allowed me to have a lot of time, because I started to do my own thing, and I was actually able to make the same amount of money, but literally work half less, like 50% less, and still do make what I was making, which gave me a lot of time for, I learned a language in these months. I picked up on dance classes. I uh, started my gym routine and physical health and everything, supplement diet. It was really just a matter of, making plans, organizing things, and then just doing it, following it,
Hmm.
with the accountability and the support. So where I was before to now, it's really drastically changed. It's just a direction or clarity. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I personally had a lot of improvements, and I'm pretty happy where I've gotten, and I'm just excited for next year, man.
Hmm. And that's the beautiful thing, right? Because that's the one thing I want to give Dave his flowers on is Dave's a worker, like a real worker. And so the only thing that we did was of course, you say we created that plan and then we gave your life structure and direction. Once you had that structure and that direction, the energy that you will already have got plugged in and you fucking took off. Like it's insane
Yeah,
how you took off. Again, when I was talking to Dave, Dave was we had our call, you were in the car.
yeah,
You were homeless in the car. And so within, I think the first 30 days, had a new spot. What's it called? Like you said, the whole job thing, quit your job, but they were still making the same amount of money for half the work. It was just wild to see that in the first 30 days. And then of course, over time, it just got more and more. And then I remember when you said that you needed to the dance class thing, and you're like, oh, I've been trying to take dance class. And I'm like, let's get it done this week. And then literally
yeah.
within the week, because you were on the fence about it, right? You're like, I should.
Dude, like a couple, no, it was the day before we were gonna check in. And I was like, I just booked something just to be like, see, I did it. Here, leave me
Yeah.
alone.
And that the funny part is that's kind of a part of it where it's like fuck. It's like you do it anyway, just so you don't get like people talking. It's fun. It's fun, but again, it's like one of those things where just being on this journey with you guys, it really stamped into my head that everything could be done in a very short amount of time. It's just the fact that most people just don't do it for whatever reason. There's no real like
Yeah,
thing that's holding people back except themselves.
absolutely.
Right. All
It's
right. So
really
I
in your head, you know?
mhm. And so when you have the external factor like us, me, and the other guys in the group, then it's like yeah, like these people are like, hey, are you? How's that going? How's that going? How's it going? You're like, okay, let me do something. Let me do something. Let me take a
Yeah.
one step forward because that's all it takes, and then you just take off after that.
Mhm.
So yeah, that pretty much ends it for me. Is there anything else that you wanted to say before I ended this?
Oh, just to put a little bit more into what you're saying, how when we organize things and I was able to utilize my energy for my goals and things I wanted to do, it really helps. You know, a lot. Well, like when we're tired and it's like, oh, you don't feel like doing something because you just don't have the energy for it. Really, a lot of it was taken up on my mental state of mind. So, like I said, for me, this was invaluable. Like just to organize my head and put it on paper. Like you taught us how to journal and all that. And if you don't have a journal, you're not in the game and all that. Um, it really is the truth when it comes to that. So I really like I was saying, it was essential for to have the energy to do what I want to complete and achieve the goals I wanted to do. Free
Mhm.
up.
Awesome, man. All right. Well, I appreciate you for doing this for me, man. And so
Yeah.
yeah, of course, we still got like 4 more months for until the end of the year, so we're gonna even get even more massive results. And yeah, man,
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I'll see you later.